described inside a sphere, and the information are given in the question. The radius of the sphere is r, so that's the center of the sphere, therefore this is also r. The height of the cone is h, so this length, it can be written as h minus r. And they want us to show that the volume can be written in this form. I would like to establish excuse me, a relationship between h and r from this right angle triangle in here, this small one. I can use Pythagoras and establish the following relationship, that is h minus r squared plus r squared is equal r squared. Expand this and simplify. Is equal r plus r squared, sorry, plus r squared is equal r squared, and I can strike this with this equals 0. Move these to the other side, so r squared is equal to rh minus h squared. Now the volume of the cube is equal 1/3 pi, or pi over 3, r squared h. Replace r by its value, r squared me, which is 2r h minus h squared times h, and then distribute h over the bracket, and we should get v is equal pi over 3 2r h squared minus h cubed. That's the first part. The second, they want us to find the maximum volume. So if the volume is maximum, that means dV by dH should equal 0. Differentiate the volume formula, equate it to 0. So that'll be pi over 3 with respect to h. That'll be 4rh minus 3h squared equals 0. Simplify. Take h common factor, that'll be pi h over 3 into 4r minus 3h equals 0. This cannot equal 0, so therefore h is equal 4 over 3r. Then I substitute this into the formula that we established earlier. So we write near Vmax is equal pi over 3, open bracket 2r, and instead of h squared we're going to put 16r squared over 9, minus, instead of h cubed we're going to put 64r cubed over 27. Introduce the pi over 3. 2 times 16, 32, r times r squared r cubed, so that'll be 32 pi r cubed over 27 minus 64 pi r cubed over 81, and make common denominator. Multiply the first part by 3 by 3. That will give us Vmax. Vmax is equal 96 pi r cubed minus 64 pi r cubed over 81, which is equal 32 pi r cubed over 81. Okay, next question. The first thing, we have a an expansion, perfect square trinomial. So 1 minus root 3 all squared. Expand that, that'll be 1 minus 2 root 3 plus root 3 squared, which is 3. That should be 4 minus 2 root 3. That is 1 minus root 3 all squared. So that is for A. For B, they want us to express, find the value of cosine 15 by writing 15 as 60 minus 45. So that means cosine 15 is equal cosine 60 minus 45, and use the sum and difference rule. I will write it in here. Cosine A plus or minus B is equal cosine A, cosine B, and the sign switches, minus plus, sine A, sine B. That's it. So cosine 15 is equal cosine 60, cosine 45, switch the sign, plus sine 60, sine 45. From the unit circle, you should know the values of all of these. That is half, that is root 2 over 2, plus root 3 over 2, and that is root 2 over 2. Simplify, that'll be root 2 plus root 6 over 4, and that is cosine 15. C, they want us to find the length of BC and write it in the form of A plus root B. Use the cosine rule. BC squared is equal to 2 squared plus root 2 squared minus 2 times 2 times root 2 times cosine the angle in between, which is 50. So that is 4 plus 2 minus 4 root 2 into cosine 15 is root 2 plus root 6 over 4. Can simplify this with this 4 and introduce minus root 2 on the bracket. That'll be 6 minus 2, and that is root 2 minus root 2 times root 6. That'll be minus root 12. So that'll be 4 minus root 12. That is BC squared. Continuing here, root 12 is 4 times root 3. So root 4 times root 3, so that'll be BC squared is equal 4 minus 2 root 3. I want BC, so I take square root of both sides. Make sure you don't forget to put plus or minus. So square root of this, square root of this, plus or minus. So my BC is equal plus or minus square root 4 minus 2 root 3. Keep in mind this value, we already established this. It is equal, if you go up in here, it is equal to 1 minus root 3 all squared. So that is, again, replace that. So BC is equal plus or minus the square root of 1 minus root 3 all squared. And therefore BC is equal plus or minus 1 minus root 3. So therefore BC, it has two values, either 1 minus root 3 or minus 1 plus root 3. Now if we work this one, that's going to be negative, so it cannot be a side of a triangle. We reject, therefore that is my correct answer, leading A to be minus 1 and B to be 3.